Hey everybody, this is Dan from Mechanical Malarkey. Today I want to talk about this bumper sticker on my truck. This is my 1990 Ford F-250 and this sticker says #BecauseRoadkill. If you don't know what roadkill is, it is a show put out on the internet by the Motor Trend group where basically the premise is they find cars, fix them up, and have fun. Usually old cars, and usually things are not perfect, they're nowhere near restoration level. The main point is just to have a good time with the cars. One of the phrases they say a lot is, don't get it right, just get it running. Another phrase they'll say often, especially when they're doing something like changing a fuel pump on the side of the highway, or taking the hood off a car to prevent overheating, or spreading transmission fluid down the entire length of a drag strip, is because roadkill. Basically, because roadkill is the answer to the question, why am I doing all this work just to keep this old car that's not very good running? Why am I doing it in the cheapest, most hacked together way possible? Because roadkill. Because the adventure, having fun with an old car or any car and just making it get by and using it, having a good time. So why do I have a because roadkill sticker on my truck? That's because one of the reasons I bought it is because roadkill. Several years ago, my first car was deteriorating to the point where it wasn't worth keeping. So I was looking for a new replacement for my daily driver. And a friend's brother had this for sale, and I really liked it. It looks really cool, but it didn't really fit my needs for a daily driver, reliable, fuel efficient commuter car, because it's unreliable, not fuel efficient, and pretty much a pile of garbage. But it was cool and it was really cheap, so I bought it, and years later, it's still running. I'm still fixing problems on it. It's still sometimes unreliable, but it still works. So, because roadkill, this is my roadkill ride. I've had to do a lot of work on it, but since it's cheap and it gets what I need done, I keep it. I'm making this video now because I just had a very roadkill road trip with my truck. So I decided to buy a car dolly so I can easily pick up cars to work on and make more videos. Looking around, I found a bunch of used ones. Usually these are over $2,000 brand new. Used ones, $700 to $900. This one I found for $550. It was an hour away, so it was kind of a bit of a drive, but I felt like it would be worth it. So I drove there, and it didn't quite turn out as planned. So I got to where this was being sold from. I went to hook it onto my truck, and the lever coupler system wouldn't go on, and then it broke. And I drove over an hour to get to this. I wasn't about to leave without it. So I did a very redneck or roadkill thing and just put a ratchet strap around the bottom of my hitch and around the top of the trailer mount, and it worked. I made it all the way home. I don't recommend doing this. I wouldn't do this with anything other than this small of a trailer with no load on it, but for this, it worked. Then when I was partway home, I pulled into a parking lot to get some lunch and realized that the back end was dragging. This is the pin that holds the back up from the tilt down position from when you're driving a car on, and there was no clip holding this pin in, so it had come most of the way out and to let the whole back flop down. I had to bend the tab back down for the pin to go through, and then I didn't have any clips with me, so I just grabbed my pair of vice grips and stuck that on, and it got me home. With the trailer problem sorted out, now it was my truck's turn to be a problem. It was raining pretty hard that day, so I had the wipers going, and then suddenly they just stopped. Because it was pouring, I didn't have anywhere to pull off, so I just kept driving with what little I could see through the window. Got to a gas station and started trying to figure it out. Couldn't figure out if it's a fuse or something, so I ended up just driving the entire 45-60 minutes home without wipers. Gradually the rain was letting out, but it still wasn't that great. I could still see enough to feel safe driving on back roads. I didn't take the interstate home, so it took a little longer to get home, but I did get home. I definitely don't endorse driving without windshield wipers when it's raining, but This was the time I just needed to get home. I wasn't going to call a tow truck just because my wipers stopped working. So I could see well enough, so that's what I did. So this is my Because Roadkill truck. That was my Because Roadkill road trip. I had problems, I figured out how to fix them, and I got home. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and read the blog at mechanicalmalarkey.com. Thanks for watching.